So, you want to become Geometry Dash's best player. Many players have time and time again pushed the limits of what's humanly possible, but there's one player who wreaked havoc on the game. He was considered one of the best, but over time, his reputation slowly diminished. In this video, I'll explore the intriguing history of the hacker that changed the game forever. It's March 2015. A level named Supersonic had just been released by a player named Cyclic. After thousands of attempts, it would be published onto the servers. The fact that a human completed this is outright insane. Unsurprisingly, only the best of the best could do it. But while this was happening, Cyclic felt like he could do even better, wanting to create something even more difficult and demanding. For weeks, Cyclic was shy of an answer, until a player would come up with an idea that would change this game forever. The player in question would be Andromeda. Andromeda would begin playing in 2014, and really only uploaded easy completions. However, this would all change when out of nowhere, he would start posting runs of the infamous level named Necropolis. He would attempt to jump from one of the easiest demons to one of the hardest. While he hadn't completed it yet, some players were suspicious. Luckily for Andromeda, however, people would forget about this as he would upload a preview of something insane. The trend of 9 circles had recently been blowing up, with virtually every level being a repaint with slightly different gameplay. The flashy, hard-to-read gameplay paired with the newly introduced wave game mode made the style a challenge for many. But Andromeda would go a step further, as he would tackle one of the hardest 9 circles levels ever made. Many of the top players especially struggled with the beginning of the wave section, as it was a massive choke point. One of these top players was Andromeda's rival, Riot. In the video's description, he stated, "This level was ridiculously stressful and hard for me. It definitely increased my wave skill as a player, and now that I've gotten the hardest 9 circles demon out of the way, the rest are gonna come rolling in." Andromeda had previously made multiple remarks against Riot, claiming he was coming for him. While Andromeda wasn't the best player yet, he was slowly catching up to Riot, and on April 15th, 2015, a video by Andromeda would be released titled, "Are You Ready?" Little did the community know, however, this level dubbed The Ultimate Phase would be Andromeda's next stepping stone to passing Riot. 2 weeks later, Andromeda would claim to beat the ultimate phase. Having no previous progress videos, many members of the community were skeptical. However, anyone suspicious of him was silenced by the sheer quantity of people who believed him. The level was paced at the top 3 spot, and while this was underwhelming for Andromeda, it gave him a clear goal to accomplish. Riot had begun playing a level named Ice Carbon Diablo X. This was an old impossible level created many updates before, featuring confusing memory and very tricky ship gameplay. Seeing how Riot was making rapid progress, Andromeda would make it his goal to beat Riot, and would attempt Ice Carbon Diablo X. While it would look extremely intimidating initially, he would quickly make progress with runs like 40 and 68%. He would hear news of Riot completing it a few hours earlier, but he had to finish off what he started. Andromeda would claim to be the second victor of Ice Carbon Diablo X, after only 2 days of playing. How could he have done it? While many players in the past have had big flukes, it was nothing compared to jumping to this. So many players weren't surprised when he said he was dizzy towards the end, due to the extremely tight straight fly at the ending. Even Riot himself had a devastating fail there. Finally, Riot's position as the top player was threatened by Andromeda. He had completed 2 out of the 3 hardest levels in the game after all. All that was left was the top 1 demon. How hard could it possibly be? A few days after completing one of the most infamous levels, Andromeda would shift his focus to a journey that needed an ending. He would come back to Necropolis after weeks of not playing, proceeding to finally finish it off. But cracks are starting to form in his foundation. Methods of catching cheaters had recently been discovered, and many once again had their eyes on Andromeda. While there wasn't any solid evidence, his rapid rise was beginning to look more unrealistic by the day. To get under the radar, Andromeda would begin playing another level, a level that would be crucial in the meltdown of his career. Players like Riot would usually stream or upload progress videos on Cataclysm, the top 1 demon at the time. However, Andromeda wouldn't. Only a few days after beating ICDX, he would once again be submerged in controversy. During the replay, many noticed how unnatural the ship game mode moved. Instead of straight flying, you'd control a ship in the riskiest way possible. It almost felt like Andromeda was speed hacking. Speed hack is a hack that allows you to slow down your game, making it much easier to complete levels. While many players were exposed left and right, Andromeda would stand out from the rest, claiming that he took the least attempts to beat it out of anyone. He had done it again. All of his progress was allowing him to slowly catch up to Riot. Completing the trilogy of the hardest levels made him certain that his career would go down in history, but unbeknownst to everyone, his status would all go down the drain. Only 2 days after completing Cataclysm, he would confess to hacking all of his previous achievements. Many players were disappointed. It felt like a spear had gone through their backs. They had been betrayed. Polargeist was hacked. The ultimate phase was hacked. Everything was hacked. He had just ruined his reputation. To most players in the community, they had thought this was how it would end for Andromeda. Little did they know, however, he would prove everyone wrong. Over the next few months, a lot changed. New players came and went, and the difficulty ceiling was being pushed higher and higher. Yet, Andromeda was nowhere to be seen. Before he left, he claimed that he would repeat all of his accomplishments. His promise felt too good to be true, so was it really going to be fulfilled? After the situation, Andromeda felt unsatisfied. He felt like he wronged many and felt the urge to avenge himself. Despite not being as good as the top players anymore, he gave it his best shot. He would come back and finally say one of the most iconic levels, Poltergeist. 5 days later, he would beat Ice Carbon Diablo X after many fails at the final straight fly. Cataclysm would be slain 2 weeks later after thousands of attempts. And to end his career off on a blast, he would finally finish what he started, completing the ultimate phase 2 weeks later. Poltergeist would inspire levels like Sonic Wave, a level so immense in difficulty that it stands as one of the top 100 hardest demons to this day. Players even today struggle with this demon, with some having attempt counts in the millions. Andromeda hacking his completions would push Riot to never before seen skill, with Riot going on to verify levels with Bloodbath. While Andromeda isn't active, he stands as one of the most iconic players, doing what no previous hacker had done before, right? But someone arguably even more iconic is the player in this video. Find out how he proved the impossible here, and thanks for watching.